everybody, it's me, Shell360, and today I have my very first Subk shop haul. I ordered something from Subk because the price was right. I had never ordered from this place before. I don't think I know anybody who's ordered from them, but I don't really know because I've gotten to the point where I don't really pay attention to shops that other people use unless it's something super rare or something maybe K-R&B related, because those things can be very difficult to find. But like most regular K-pop CDs and the like aren't particularly hard to find, and so I don't normally pay attention to the shop because most of the prices are the same. But COVID really changed the game for a lot of things. COVID has made it to where now everyone is on the hunt for who sells it for the low. And not just for like, oh, the price for the individual CD is cheap. It's like, who has the most affordable shipping? And so because of that, hey everybody, because of that, I have been doing a bit more comparison shopping than usual. And it just so happened that one of the CDs I bought today, I saw where the Subk shop had a really good deal on it. And I'm like, okay, well, I've never ordered from them before. Let's give them a shot. And I have to tell you, this was a really good haul. Like the amount of money I paid for the items in this haul, I got a really smoking deal. So I've got, I believe, 6 items here. This is the bundle of items here. And I believe I got all of this for under $150, which doesn't seem like a deal to you. But I will tell you this. I know this is a deal because one of the items in here, normally if you buy it by itself, regardless of the vendor, is usually about $40 on its own. So you take that $40 out of 150, that leaves 110 divided by 5 items, so everything is just a little over $20 a piece. That's not bad. So yeah, I got a really good deal on this. In fact, I might have even paid less than 150 to be quite real with you. I probably paid even less than that. My invoice is at the top, so we'll just take a look and see. Oh, there's some cards or something here. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, whatever it is glued to the plastic wrap. That's not good stuff. Okay, you gotta figure that one out. So this is what was glued to the plastic wrap. This was glued to the plastic wrap. Hard to focus. Sorry, guys. And this. And this. And this. And this thing here. Yeah, those were all glued to the top. This, for some reason, I don't know how to describe this. This is super weird, so if I don't describe it well, please understand. They don't use typical bubble wrap. Their bubble wrap is a sticky bubble wrap. I've never encountered this before. I don't know if any of you have. Do you see this? Do you hear that sound? The bubble wrap is also tape. The bubble wrap is also tape. Like, the bubble wrap is also tape. I've never seen that before. This is the first time I've ever come across that. Wow, that's different. So that was everything that was in the box. This thing is the thing that was the most expensive out of everything that I got. I think this was around $30 on their website, maybe 27, so close to 30. And this is Zico's latest project, Random Box, which I bought because Any Song is on here, and I really, really like Any Song. But do you hear that rattling? I'm concerned. I hope it's not the CD. So let's go ahead and get this opened up. I told myself I wasn't going to buy any more Zico albums. I totally was not going to. I didn't want to support him in that manner anymore. But when I tried to buy thinking used, my order got canceled because of increased shipping costs, and the seller was not kind enough to inform me of that. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to keep playing games with people about these used CDs. I'm going to buy it new because I feel like this particular song is justifiable. So I kept looking for places to get it. And even used, people still wanted like $35 for this. And almost all the good stuff was going to be taken out of it. So I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and bite the bullet, get this thing used and get this thing brand new and keep it moving. So I've already seen Mason's unboxing of this. I know this is a very weird album in terms of content. I'm not expecting a lot, but I'm excited because I haven't bought a new Zico thing in a while. So yeah, that's that. Gosh, I hope I can open this. So it is, it's like a, it's just like a delivery box. It's just like a delivery box. Inside is this thing here, which is, I'm guessing this is the CD right here. I remember seeing his unboxing, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, the CD is right here. So here's the CD. That's good. That means the rattling sound that I heard is not the CD itself. That's great. This is the photo book. All right, got you. Then there is this thing, which is a pizza delivery box keychain. There is a roll of tape. I thought this was the same tape on the outside. It is. It's the same tape that's on the outside of the box. You get a whole roll of it. I have no idea if I'm ever going to use this. And then the thing that was rattling around was this pin that says, "It's so freaking hot." So freaking hot. So that was what was rattling around in here. There's a cutout space where this pin is supposed to sit and where the keychain is supposed to sit, which is supposed to cut down on that rattling noise. Like, that's how it's supposed to look inside the box. But yeah, this insert is kind of loose, as you can see, so things are going to rattle around. This is just the name of the game. But yeah, that's what this is, and I'm really excited to have it because one day I may be able to sell it. I know that sounds like a really shitty thing to say, but you know, if needs must, I will give up on Zico. And then that's the photo book, guys. There you go. Speaking of Zico, he has been in talks with Big Hit about a possible merger, a possible buyout, if you will, which is super exciting news because imagine Zico as a in-house producer for Big Hit. That'd be amazing. He'd be writing songs for G-Friend and 17 and producing for BTS and TXT. Like, that'd be really exciting stuff. But on the flip side of that, that's just going to be more money in his pockets, and I still feel a little iffy about Zico as a person, and I hate to see him unjustly enriched. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, next thing. This is something I never thought that I would be unboxing on my channel because I have never purchased anything from this group. I never wanted to purchase anything from this group. I actually don't even like their comeback, to be quite honest with you. The title song for their comeback, not a fan. Didn't like the music video. But this album had some of the most beautiful teaser pictures I had ever seen. And it tickled my pickle because I'm a fan of the Boys Love. So I bought this, which is Ace's new album. Ace is not a group I ever pay attention to. The only thing I know about Ace is that they wore like really short shorts and like crop tops in some of their videos, and some of them went on, I think it was, is it Mix and Match is the YG show, or it's something else, I forget what it's called. Anyway, YG tried to clown them for wearing short shorts, and one of them was like, well, you know, Winter wore them too, so we thought it'd be cool. I remember that distinctly, and I'm sure I'm quoting it wrong. But yeah, that's what I remember about Ace. I don't remember anything else about them. But I saw the teaser pictures for this and I was like, this is gorgeous. This is just stunningly gorgeous. And so I knew that, like, regardless of the music, I wanted to have this in my hand and see it firsthand for myself. So this is the outside of the album. And then here is the back. And it's got a really thin spine. It's supposed to look kind of like, I guess, a Korean textbook or a Korean storybook. It's supposed to have a traditional feel. And then, ooh, all the inclusions are on the back. Okay, all right, gotcha. Here's the CD in the back here, and it comes with stickers. I guess they're fandom or clovers. It comes with, this is one of the photo cards. Then here is the other photo card. These are square-cornered photo cards. I haven't seen square-cornered photo cards in a minute. Usually the photo cards are rounded on the edges. That's different. Also, these are like puzzle pieces. So I guess they're square because if you get all of the cards, you can make the portrait, which I believe from looking at this, the portrait is probably this picture here, something having to do with that. It also came with a bookmark. This is the bookmark. That bookmark is beautiful. That is super nice. Like, more people need to do this. And it's not because of his abs. That's not why. I like this because it matches the theme. Like, thematically, this is perfect. I'm a sucker for, like, just going whole hog with it down to, like, the little details. And this is right up my freaking alley. So let's look in here so I can show you the pictures that caused me to want to. So I can show you the pictures that made me buy this thing. Look at that. Oh my God. Like, this is beautiful. These images are freaking bananas. They're so gorgeous. And this is what made me want to buy this. Like, it was nothing else other than the art. The art. This is so pretty. I can't get over this. I cannot get over this. If only a group that I stood for would do something like this. They're unreal. They're unreal looking. They're just gorgeous. Wow. So those are the pictures that made me buy it. There's some other really cool pictures in here too. Like, there's these pictures here. These are really nice pictures. They're not like stunning, but they're nice. And then they have these where they're in like the mixture of like traditional and streetwear photos. These are pretty cool. I like this. I like how it's like the hanbok mixed with like t-shirt and jeans. That's a look that I wouldn't mind seeing on the streets. That's a bit of street fashion that would really see pulled off. So there's that. And then there's these pictures, which these pictures are really, really nice too. So these are them against that traditional painting background. These are really, really nice because, again, it's kind of a mixture of modern fashion with traditional touches. So, like, the pendant, but then you've got, like, the modern silk shirt and belt. So, little things that kind of mix the two cultures, Western and Eastern culture together, modern and ancient culture. I just think that's really, really lovely. So, yeah. This is a really nice photo book. I'm so glad that I actually had a chance to hold it in my hands and see it. Am I keeping it? Probably not, because like I said, I was not a fan of Goblin slash favorite boy, I think is what it says in the parentheses. But yeah, wasn't a fan. I didn't like the music video. It was way too busy. There's one scene in the music video where one of these guys has beads on his eyelashes. Why would you do that to somebody? Like, literally, like, imagine your eyelashes, somebody pulling out, like, a clump of your eyelashes and putting, like, a bead and, like, threading your eyelash through the bead, and then you're trying to blink and you've got beads on your eyelashes. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, yeah, just the video was disturbing to me for that reason. But this album is really, really pretty. I really, really like the way that this looks. I'll probably hang on to it for a little bit longer, but if somebody just really, really needs this album, including all of the inclusions, like all the photo books, all the photo cards and everything, holler at me. We might be able to make a deal. If you're stateside or Canada or APO, because I can ship anywhere APO for a pretty regular price. So there's that. And I guess that is where this card came from, by the way. So I guess this was like a special Subk K card that they were doing for pre-orders. So yeah, that's where this card came from. So that would also be included in that. This next one, I also did not think I was going to be buying because I thought that the one video I saw from this group was stupid. So this is the Only One Of album, which I remember seeing the video that was for the comeback right before this one, and there's the one member that has this blonde mop of hair, and it's like cut to the tip of his nose, so it's like this much of his face is showing all the time. And I just remember thinking, this is the stupidest styling I've seen in a really long time, and I lived through a lot of weird styles as a second gen fan. This is stupid. But then they came out with the Song of Ice and Fire. And even from the teaser, I'm like, okay, this is actually a full-on jam. I'm going to have to buy this album. And then after I pre-ordered it is when the actual album teasers came out. And I'm like, oh, so this is actually like a really great album, like a really solid mini album. And so I'm really glad I bought this. I don't think that I'll go back and get the other ones just because that's not where my head is at right now. But I'm very excited to have what I have. I'm noticing a lot of damage on this photo book, which that's disappointing. It's disappointing that there's so much damage here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it on the reflection? Look at all of that. Wow. That's crazy. That's a crazy amount of damage. Sad days. But that's okay. That's okay. Because I bought this for the music. I didn't buy it for appearances. So this is the CD right here. Pretty, pretty, pretty. And let's see. Okay, so I got this photo card, which I guess is like, I don't know, this might be like some online lottery type thing because there's a number underneath my finger that I'm not showing you, and then this is what the back says. But the photo card that I got for this album is that's funny to me. That's funny to me because I was literally just talking about it a minute ago. So yeah, that's the photo card I got for this album. This is a really bad photo book. Like, this is just actually a bad photo book. We don't talk about this enough, but when it comes to photography for photo books, photography is important. Photography is important because a lot of times with these photo books, people literally buy them for the pictures inside. Like, I literally bought the Ace album for the pictures inside, not for the music. And they want it to be something that is aesthetically pleasing, something that is interesting to look at, something they can pore over. Some people even take these photo books and they rip the pages out and they hang them up on their wall. I would never do that, but other people would. This is what the photography for this looks like. I don't know if you could tell from that photo card that maybe there was an issue with the photos for this comeback, but look at how damn dark that is. This entire photo book is done through a red lens. The entire photo book is done through a red lens filter. Why? Why was that the move? Like, why was that the choice? Why is that what we decided to do? This one is so damn dark. It looks a lot brighter on camera. It's super dark in real life. And I get it. We're trying to go for a vibe. Maybe it's a mystery vibe, or maybe it's just, trying to be a little bit different. But what it does, number one, it makes all the pictures look the same. So it makes your photo book look boring when everything is under the same fucking filter. But number two, you lose a lot of detail. Like, this picture right here is probably the most outstanding example of it. You can barely see details on this baby's face because of that red filter. That's not what people want. They want to look. They want to check out what the makeup looks like. They want to check out what their hair looks like. They want to see the details on their earrings. There are whole Tumblr and Twitter pages dedicated to the clothes that idols wear and trying to identify what brand name those clothes come from. And for you to kind of just like blur up everything because you're using this ugly red filter, that's not cool. That's not fun. That's not fresh. You could do better. You absolutely could do better, but you chose to do otherwise, and that's your fucking fault. All right, we're halfway through, guys. We're halfway through. So I've got this album, which I don't think that this is something that the majority of you who are paying attention to me right now have any care for, but it's something that I wanted to buy. This is Jay's album, and I bought it because I have his first one, and there's some really cool features on here. There's some stuff on here that I like. Tiger JK is on here, and it's always interesting to hear him on the younger people's projects because he tends to have an older flow, but he sounds pretty good here. So I got this, and I wasn't expecting a lot, but this is pretty much a not even a digipack. This is a CD sleeve. And what I'm just now finding out is that the track list is on a sticker outside of the plastic of the CD. That's lovely. Thank you. Appreciate you. So this is the CD. I'm trying to get it out of this plastic. This is the CD right here. That's the front. That is the back. And this is the track list on the plastic over the CD. That fucking sucks. And then inside of this sleeve, because there's nothing else in here, is this CD. So I guess you can tell that I bought this for the music, not for the packaging, because there really isn't any packaging to this. I'm just mad that this was on the outside, because now I'm gonna have to cut around it and slip it in there, and it's just a hassle. And I'm gonna cut around it because it's a matte finish sticker, so there's no way that I'm gonna be able to peel it off well. So yeah, it's cutting time, and that's frustrating. Like, don't get me wrong. Listen, shouts out to K-R&B artists, K-hip-hop artists who still do CDs, because so much stuff for K-R&B and K-hip-hop is done digitally because it's just cheaper. Like, they can hop into the studio and they can record something real quick. They can mix it on their iMacs, their MacBook Pros, whatever it is that people call these Apple computers. I don't own one, so I don't know what they're called. But they can mix stuff on their Apple computer and get it put on the internet super fast without any kind of label interaction or anything else. And so it makes a lot of sense for these young people who are operating in a system of their own to not take the time to do a CD, because there's a lot of cost associated with printing a CD. It's finding somebody to press your CD, it's printing the packaging for your CD, album art, it's hoping that you sell every single copy. Otherwise, there's a good chance you're going to lose money printing a CD. So I get why the young people don't do a lot of CDs, because for them, it's just so much more convenient to like put it online. People can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube Music, and that's where it is. So shouts out to even doing something as minimal as this, because this, again, it represents a financial investment in yourself that you might not recoup. But I feel like if you're going to spend the money, then maybe come with at least like a jewel case. Like that I think is doable. I think we can agree that that's doable. But yeah, that's a whole album, whole ass album. Next thing I'm gonna open is this. This is Vinchin, and this is his latest release. I don't remember what the name of this is. Sorry about it, guys. I bought this actually for sentimental reasons. So I bought this because I happened to catch him on a YouTube channel that I follow called, I think it's called ODG. And it's a YouTube channel that has like these Korean children, and they'll meet like a famous artist, and the famous artist will have some kind of interaction with these children. So sometimes the artist will do a discussion with the children, and then they'll sing their song and the children will react, or sometimes they'll just have a conversation with a kid and tell them about their life. And it's not always celebrities. Sometimes it's them with their parents, and their mom and dad will tell them about the day that they were born, stuff like that. And they've had a lot of really cool and interesting interactions on there. I definitely recommend you check it out. They've had Ehai on there, they've had Zico on there, they've had a lot of like really important artists on the show. They've had trot singers on the show. Like, they've had all kinds of people on the show. And it's a very moving experience a lot of the time, because it's a very human and personal conversation. Suho's been on their show, actually. And Suho's episode was really funny. Suho from EXO, because, like, the children did not know him. And he was feeling super old because the kids did not know him. But it's a really fun channel. And I was watching the episode that Vinchin was on, and it was really something special, because the episode that he was on, he was talking about how for the longest time he could not tell his parents that he loved them. And they brought in like 5 or 6 different little kids, and he said, "Hey, do you guys ever tell your parents that you love them?" And they were little kids, like kids under 12. And they're like, yeah, all the time. I talk to my parents every day. They're my best friends. I love my family. And he's like, yeah, I haven't told my parents I love them in 10 years. And this one girl was like, I think you must be shy. And that's the reason why you don't tell your parents that you love them, because you're afraid that you'll be embarrassed if you say something like that. And so now you're scared, and you haven't said it in so long that now you're afraid that they'll make fun of you if you say it. And it was a conversation from a kid to what to me is still a kid, because this kid is like in his really super early years, like he's in his like what, late teens, early 20s. So it felt to me like two babies talking to each other a little bit. But it was a really deep thought, because how many of us have wanted to have certain conversations with people, but we didn't because we were embarrassed, or we thought that they would make fun of us, or that they wouldn't understand, or maybe we're too old to say those things to people. Um, and so I don't know, the conversation was really meaningful, and the song he sang to those kids was like super depressing, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna support him, because I just want him to know that like his music is valid, his thoughts are valid, he has supporters, he deserves to be heard. Also, like the Korean public has been so freaking brutal to this boy. Like they have made fun of him about his mental health, they've made fun of him about the way he looks. They've really dogged this child out. And he collaborated with Key on Key's album, and I don't know, he seems like a nice kid who's having some problems with depression and anxiety, and I just wanted to like look out for him. And also I enjoyed his last album, so like this is not a loss for me. But these are the photo cards. They're super cute. And then the back of them is why I'm saying they're so cute. Look at the little caricature on the back. That's sweet. I like that a lot. And then it also came with this sticker. So that's the sticker that came with it. And then this is what the CD looks like. I wonder if he drew those things himself or if somebody drew that for him. Either way, that's super cool. And then it's got a little jacket here. I'm pretty sure the jacket is just a lyrics book. It's probably, well, it feels a little bit thicker. There may be some like photographs in here too, but I think it's mostly just a lyrics book, because this is a jewel case, and jewel cases tend to not have a bunch of stuff in them. Yeah, it's got some photographs, but it's mostly lyrics, as you can see. He still looks like he's kind of sad. I hope you get out of that headspace. I know with COVID being the way it is, people have a tendency to feel even lonelier because they can't be around their people, but you know, hang in there. It's okay. I mean, we all have those issues. How many of us, especially when you're young, have this feeling like no one really understands what you're going through? There's a thing that happens when it comes to children and psychology. Babies, when they're really little, believe that their parents are them. Like they are their parents and their parents are them. So like if they see their mom and dad cry, they feel like they're crying. And when they see their mom and dad happy, they feel like they're happy. And babies don't really have much of a personal identity, which is funny because children are selfish. But like seriously, babies kind of feel like the world I live in and every emotion I'm experiencing is being experienced by the people around me, and the people around me should have an intimate understanding of me because of the fact that we're not separated. And the more you get older and you start to have life experiences and you run into things and your intellect grows, you start to realize that you are you and other people are other people, right? So, with that being said, and you start to realize that like you are the only person feeling your emotions, it heightens the sense you have that you're misunderstood because no one else is feeling what you're feeling. And for the first time in your life, when you're a teenager, a young adult, you start to realize that your worldview is not shared. And it can cause a lot of feelings of isolation and loneliness when you realize that, you're the only person who sees this, you're the only person who feels this. And even if your perception of a situation maybe is unhealthy, because you know that you're the only person seeing the situation like this, you develop a distrust of others. When you're the only person who sees something like this, you're like, well, I can't talk to anybody. No one's going to believe me. No one's going to tell me the truth because they don't want to hurt my feelings, or they're not going to tell me the truth because they don't want me to be happy. all that stuff happens for young people. And so I don't know, it's just a really tough time, and it takes many, many years to kind of become comfortable with who you are and the way the world is and what's going on with you. And some people are never comfortable. And that's not even taking into account if there's issues of mental health at play. If there's certain pre-existing conditions like schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, all anxiety issues, all of that can also be a part of that as well. This is just what normal kids go through. And I say normal not to say that you're abnormal if you have mental health struggles, but basically someone who's not been diagnosed with an issue, or the issues that are present aren't significant enough to need medical intervention. So even if you're just somebody who is living the typical normal life, you're still going to have anxiety. You're still going to have seasonal and situational depression. You're still going to have self-image issues. You're still going to have issues of being self-conscious. You're still going to have that thing that makes you feel different from others, or make you feel like you're outside of others. And it takes a while for you to get to the point where you realize, don't nobody give a damn about you. Ain't nobody checking for you. Don't nobody really care what's going on with you, except for the people who actually love and take the time to get to know you. And I say nobody cares about you, but I don't say it in the way that like you don't have loved ones. I mean literally when you're walking down the street and you think that people are looking at you because your clothes are funny looking or your hair is funny looking. There may be a little bit of that, but for the most part, most people are caught up in their own worlds and they're not even actually paying attention. So it takes a while to get to that point. And because of that, I don't know. I feel a lot of sympathy for you young people, because it's definitely a stress. It's not easy. And your parents really don't understand, because we've gotten past that. Like we really have. Some parents are kind of more cognizant of it than others. But for most parents, we're like, that's teenager stuff. And part of it is because we've had the privilege of living a life removed from those feelings. We've had, a good 15 to 20 years distance from that memory. But it's very valid. Your feelings are very valid. They're very real. And I hope that anyone who's listening to this that's struggling with those feelings and emotions, I hope you're seeking and receiving the help that you deserve, because no one should be living a life that makes them feel like life is not for them. You should absolutely believe that you're supposed to be here. So this is the last thing I got in this haul. This is Kang Daniel's Magenta. So this is the front. This is the back. And it is a slipcase, which I just unslipped because I didn't want to make a fool of myself on camera. So this is what the slipcase looks like when you take it off. And then this is the package inside. This looks like this is a metallic box. It's a magnetic box, that's what it is. I don't know why I said metallic. It's a magnetic box. So there's a flippity flap right there. See? Flippity flap. So you undo the flippity flap, and here is the CD, and then here is the album. Magenta is actually like my favorite. Well, I won't say magenta. Purples. The purple family, the purpley pink family is my favorite color palette. So I appreciate that he decided to play favorites with me. I wonder whose photo card I'm going to get. That's a joke. That's a joke. It comes with this package of stickers. Can I just say thank you that your stickers aren't loose? Like, real talk. Thank you for not having loose stickers in your packaging. Appreciate you. That was really kind. This thing. What the hell is this? Okay, so there's this bookmark, which I guess we're going to use it as a filter of some sort to filter out something. And then this accordion postcard thing. And then this is the back of this accordion postcard thing. Not sure what to do with this thing. Not sure. I feel like this is to feel like you're supposed to see something when you put this over certain images, but I don't know what that is, so I'm not sure how to use that just yet. We'll see. Then we have this. This is the photo book. And ooh, whose photo card did I get? Oh my gosh, I got Kang Daniel. Who would have guessed that I would have gotten Kang Daniel's photo card in his photo book for his own solo album? That's amazing. I'm just kidding. I'm just joshing with you. Oh, there's more. There's 2 photo cards. Wow. Okay. So this is the other photo card I got. Did not know that there were two. I did not buy this for the packaging, guys. Can you tell? Oh, wait, maybe wait. Nope, nope, nope. I thought that this film strip, that's what the bookmark was for, to like put the film strip against. It works, but I that's probably not right. But still, it comes with this film strip. Film strip is pretty. I know a lot of people think that Kang Daniel is super good looking. I don't think he's ugly. I'm not gonna lie and say he's ugly, but I don't know. His look is not a look that I find myself particularly drawn to. Um, I don't know. It's just not a look that I'm like, ooh, that guy is so fine. I just think he looks average. He looks like an average K-pop boy. Like he's got perfect skin, good hair, tall. He's got what Koreans love, that small face look. And so, yeah, he's a good-looking kid, but he's nothing special to me. I absolutely did not buy this for the photo. What is this trash outfit? What is this trash outfit? This is a really ugly outfit. I'm sorry, guys. Like, what is going on here? What it What is this? Seriously, what the hell is this? I'm sorry, I gotta take off my glasses for a minute. Is this a jumpsuit? Or is this like a zip up jumpsuit with a polka dot shirt and then a cummerbund? What is this? This is a horrible outfit. Oh my gosh. That's a really bad outfit. I'm not sure who styled this, but that was a really bad outfit. And then this kind of gold necklace t-shirt thing, I guess. I still have so many questions about that outfit. This thing, I guess, is I got money. I guess that's what that's supposed to symbolize, maybe. Yeah, I have so many questions about that one outfit. That was bad. Anywhoots, I didn't buy this for appearances, so I'm not even gonna sit here and talk about, oh, this is cute, no, I don't need to do all that. I literally, hello, I bought this for the music. So when Kang Daniel first came out, I did not like his first song, his first solo song. I was not a person who paid attention to 101. I didn't pay attention to that season of Produce. I didn't get into Produce until the Eyes One season. So previous seasons, I don't really know much about it. I know there's been some well-known people that have come from previous seasons. Probably the most well-known former Produce people would be Chunga and Somi. Chunga, Somi, Kang Daniel, Daehui. I know he's got like a particular following. But yeah, like there's certain people that came out of Produce that did really well. But Kang Daniel being one of the big ones that came out of Produce that did really well. Musically, I didn't see it for him because I didn't really see it for 101. And I think he got more famous off of Variety than from music. So when I finally heard his music, I remember thinking like this is somebody who needs a group. This is somebody who needs like a second voice on the track. And I don't know if like he just really endeavored to try his hardest to like step up his production game, but this album is immaculate. Like this is a really good album. Period, point blank. If you like KR&B, if you like R&B stylings, kind of hip hoppy stylings, this is the album for you. It is super duper good, and it's way better than I could have anticipated. It's way better than I was expecting. It was actually so good that it made me go back and try to listen to some of his previous work, which I went back and I listened to Cyan. Cyan is really good too. Is it Cyan or Cyan? I think it's Cyan, right? Because it's like blue, turquoisey blue. Anyway, I went back and listened to it. I thought it was really good. I really like Movie, which is the song that he did with Dawn. I like the other song Wave that he did with Jamie and with Simon Dominique. This whole mini slaps. This whole mini slaps. I think that if you haven't checked it out already, you definitely should. I got a really good price on it, which is why I went ahead and I bought it. Also, Google Music is shutting down. They're converting to YouTube Music. So this is an album that I probably would have bought digitally otherwise, but I decided to buy it physical just because fuck them. I don't own Apple products, so I don't buy songs from the iTunes stores. I listen to stuff on Spotify, but I do not buy from iTunes. And I like to own my music, so like it's just a problem. It's a problem. But anyway, that is everything from my subculture shop haul. Uh it's a really good haul, guys. I don't have any complaints about anything. The items I got arrived in a very timely manner. It was shipped via US Postal Service. The shipping was really reasonable. Of the 150 that I believe I spent, $20 of that was in shipping. That's very good for the amount of things that I got. Yeah, I'm just really, really pleased. And things came shipped fairly safe. The only item that was like super damaged was the Only One Of album, which I showed that to you. I don't know what the fuck happened to that one. I cannot figure it out. Like, I'm looking at these marks on this album, and the marks aren't caused by any of the other stuff that I bought. So I just can't call it. Like, it looks like, you know what it looks like? It looks like it got pressed up against something that has like a spiral bound spine. Do you see what I mean? Like, doesn't like a spiral binding was pressed up against this? I don't know what that could be because none of the things I got have a spiral binding. So I have no clue what the hell's going on with this thing. Why it's so fucking banged up. But I don't feel like investigating. So it is what it is. Before I leave, a little bit of housekeeping because I think you guys probably expected me to talk about this on Monday. Let me just check the time real quick. Okay, I got time. You probably expected me to talk about this on Monday, and I didn't because I had shit to do. But Taman's Criminal came out on Monday, and the album Never Gonna Dance Again Act 1 came out on Monday, and it is really great. It is really, really great. It is the best project that Taman has put out since Press It. And that is a high key hot take because Move to date has been his biggest single so far. Like, if you look at his entire discography, by leaps and bounds, Move has been his biggest single. It's the one that everybody knows all the choreography to. It is the one that everybody covers. It is the song that people think of when they think of Itaemin, if they're thinking outside of the context of Shiny. And so to say that this is a better project than Move and Moving says a lot. But I feel like this is a project I will revisit over and over and over again, which is why I say it's his best project since Press It. Like, I loved Ace. I've talked about this before on my channel. I think Ace is so underrated as a mini album, and people just don't give it its due. Press It, I thought, was a really solid first album. Drip Drop is a great song. Pressure Number is a great song. Until today, people Taman's in these R&B streets, and until today is proof of Taman being in these R&B streets. But then after that, he does Move, which is like phenomenal and wonderful, and like is all over Korea. It is a trend. It is a thing. People love it. He releases the Moving repack, and not many days later, not many weeks later, Jonghyun passes away. And I think that cut out a lot of the steam for the repack. So, of course, after that, it became kind of like Shiny time and Focus on the Family time, little Japanese work. Comes back with Want. Want is not a bad album. Or mini album, I should say. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with Want. It's just that Want felt like it was a continuation of the Move project, and so many of the songs on both Move and Want have very similar sounds, very similar structures. It almost sounds like one long song sometimes. You know, like there's definitely standout tracks. Like Thirsty is absolutely a standout track. But there's other things that you're like, this kind of sounds like the song before it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of feel that way about a lot of Taemin's Japanese discography, that a lot of the stuff on his Japanese discography tends to sound very similar. But this project, it is like Taemin spent a lot of time in like lobbies and waiting rooms and got to listen to a bunch of music that he didn't necessarily want to listen to, but it just happened to be playing as ambient sound around him. And like every once in a while something would stick out in his mind and he'd write down like, explore this song later on today. And then when it came time to do the album, he's like, okay, I have a list of like 50 songs that I'm looking for, songs that have similar rhythms or have a similar genre or make me feel a similar feeling, because so much of this album is like this, like this song goes this direction and this song goes that direction. It doesn't feel like it's all one note. Like famous Famous is probably the song on the album that sounds the most like what you've expected to hear from Taemin. And it's a song that he released in Japan first. It was his last Japanese release, was Famous, was title track. Very Michael Jackson influence, that kind of thumpy, thuddy beat with kind of like metallic sounds over the top. Very, very like, yeah, very Taemin, Dance Machine, Taemin Jackson Jr. stuff. But then you have a song like Black Rose, which the intro to Black Rose, I was like, okay, is this still Taemin's project? Because this sounds like a K-hip hop song. And he's got a like a rap feature, which Taemin doesn't do that. Like he just doesn't. And so already we're out the box. We're totally out the box. Then you have Me and You, Just Me and You, which is a good song. It's a song that when I was listening to him, like, this is the song that he should have a Latin rap feature on. Like, this song would actually get it. But then he turns around and does Waiting For, which it sounds like a Jason Derulo song to me. Like, it's got that kind of whistly sound that Jason Derulo sometimes has in his song. It's kind of Latin influenced. It's just, it's a good song. And then there's Nemo, which is absolutely a 90s R&B throwback jam, period, point blank. It is a sexy, sexy song. Taemin is out here fucking, like, just straight up. Like, he's not even in the sex dungeon right now. He's in the middle of the road, booty out. Like, he's just, this is a sexy, sexy, sexy song. And then there's Criminal. Like, there's Stranger. Stranger's a weird song because Stranger kind of sounds like the soundtrack to like one of those Netflix stalker movies, like You or something. Like, it definitely has that vibe to it, if you know what I'm saying. Like, you know, you thought he was a good guy. It turns out he was your worst nightmare. That kind of thing. And then, of course, there's Two Kids, which you guys have already heard, Two Kids, because Two Kids is everywhere. Clockwork is a super interesting song because Clockwork has like a ticking talk sound, which always throws me to 1 minute back. But it's also like super emo kid Taemin, you know, like it's very kind of emotional, and I don't know what the translation for the lyrics is, but you get the feeling like there's a journey going on there. But Criminal is that song. It is the best comeback choice to me on this album. There are people who would feel different. There are people who would think that he should have gone with Nemo because it's so damn sexy. But I don't know. To me, Nemo is B-side stuff. It's that song that everyone wants to see performed in concert, but you don't think it'll do well on the charts because it's just a little too sexy. But Criminal, on the other hand, people who know me know that if a song makes me want to drive fast, then I like that song. Like, when I heard Gravity for the first time, I wanted to go 100 miles an hour down the road. Same thing with Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. I wanted to slam my foot down on the gas and just keep driving until I ran out of gas. Criminal has that same feel to me. It's kind of an 80s throwbacky song. It's just a mood. It's a nighttime song. It's a driving song to me. Like, I love Criminal. I love Criminal. And the only thing that is a drawback to me, I wasn't a big fan of the video. Not because I don't like Taemin, but I'm not a big fan of like gory concepts and like strangulation and suffocation. I don't like those things. It's not fun to me. And a lot of that was in the video. But along with all the best things, Taemin has gotten the most views for one of his songs for the first day views ever. So like Taemin has never had 2 million views in one day. Totally got that with this one. So that's amazing. Taemin also hit #1 on one of the iTunes charts. So that's pretty fucking fantastic for Taemin. Yeah, like this comeback is doing really well for him. And a lot of people who are not assholes attribute it to the fact that he had involvement with Super M. And I just have to say this. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. A lot of people have had a lot of really reckless and mean shit to say about Super M. People act like Super M isn't any good. Super M is actually really quite good. Super M is actually a really decent project. The music is good. The camaraderie between the members of Super M is good. It's a fun time. Tiger Inside is a much better song than 100. Just putting that out there in case anybody wanted to know. Uh, Super M is fun, but people get so caught up in their standum and their little fan bubble that they don't want to shake the table. They don't want to see new shit happen. And yes, Super M very much is a money grab for both SM and Capital, but at the same time, it is a group of men who have wanted to work with each other and enjoy working with each other, and this is a fun project for them. And with all the fandoms paying attention to Super M, a lot of us are introduced to people that we might not have paid a lot of attention to. I, for one, didn't care anything about Lucas until Super M, and now I'm like, oh, look, it's Minho's little brother. 10. I never paid any attention to 10. Then I see 10 in the context of Super M. Somebody mentions that he's from Thailand. I'm like, oh, Thailand, boys love. Like, the I'm making these types of connections. But anyway, it makes it to where now I can spot 10 out of a lineup, whereas before I absolutely could not. Um, it made me really excited about Beckon's comeback before it came out. It made me want to hear more of Beckon's stuff outside of an context. I mean, of course, I knew Beckon from EXO, but like for me, my favorite vocalist in EXO will be and always has been Kyungsu. I just Kyungsu is it. Like the What Is Love remix. Come on, come on. Anyway, I'm digressing. It made me excited for people that I wasn't excited for previously, and I feel like for Taemin lives in a very second gen space, which is unfortunate because Taemin has been in the game for over a decade at this point. He's been in the game for more than 12 years. He's got pedigree. He's got a legend behind him. Basically, he is an icon in a lot of ways for K-pop. Um, but because people have known him for so long, sometimes it's just his core audience that's checking out for comebacks and things of that nature. And a lot of the third gen people don't really know Taemin like that. They don't understand what a big deal Taemin is. They don't understand like just how hard he worked in Shiny, just how much growth he's had as a singer, as a dancer, as a personality. And so I really think that the Super M thing really let people see him in a much younger context. And because of that, they're like, oh, that's the guy from Super M. He's got a solo thing coming out. Let me check that out. And he's now doing better than he has, and I am thankful for Super M for providing him with that kind of exposure. I think that's a very positive thing, and I'm always going to feel that way and fuck what anyone else says. And I especially feel this way because nobody likes to admit this because it hurts your heart to say it, but all of our faves get old. I've watched Justin Timberlake fall in and out of favor. I've watched Beyonce not be, the hottest topic anymore all the time like she used to be. Like all of your faves at one point hit a spot in their career where things start to slow down. And it's troubling to me for these things to happen to Taemin because he's still a very young man. He's barely in his mid to late 20s. And he's just got so much more ready to be presented to everybody. And for him to be lumped in with guys who are in their 30s, mid 30s, doesn't feel fair in a lot of ways because he's kind of still a baby. And I had noticed, as had many Shawwals, that, being a fan of Shiny was no longer about, winning music shows and hitting certain Billboard numbers and streaming numbers. And, we've never been a fandom that had a bunch of music video views or anything like that. We've just been quietly proud of ourselves because we knew that every comeback delivered quality music and that our group was your group's fave. Like that has been the narrative for Shaw Walls. Our group is your group's fave. But now, to see Taemin be embraced the way he is, to see people help him chart, to see people watch his music video. I played it in the background a couple of different times just to kind of give him the views. I've listened to the album on Spotify several times. To see other people coming in to support him, I can't help but be thankful that Super M has given him kind of a push in terms of getting him seen. I think that's really great. And so I'm very excited for that for him. I'm very happy to see that for him because SHINee was headed towards, only the old fans like us type of era. And it's not because the music's not good. It's not because they're not killing it. It's not because of anything wrong with them. It's just the way that popularity works. And that's for everyone. Popularity just works that way. So it's really nice to see him get, a second wind or a third wind or whatever wind it is he's getting. It's just nice to see a little life put back into the fandom, if you will. Somebody said that EVC said Boa once said that she thinks she would not be popular if she had debuted today. It depends. I have feelings about children debuting. I don't think it's a great thing. I don't think it's a great thing to push a child into the spotlight because they're not done discovering who they are. So like Boa, she debuted so incredibly young and she's grown as a woman over the years and I'm very proud of her accomplishments. But Boa being a woman who's, I think she's like barely in her early 30s, people look at her as being someone that's been around forever because they've known of her for forever. And she's just now at a point in her artistry where she's in the pocket, where she knows herself, she's confident, she has her own particular brand and style. Like, she's very Boa. And you can listen to her early music and listen to her music now, and you can hear her voice developing and her developing her style and her becoming more of who she is. And a lot of people don't check for Boa projects because she's got a maturity about her sound now, and she's doing things that interest her and that are a little bit more niche. And people just figure she's been around forever, so she's not doing anything new or interesting with what she's putting out. And nothing could be further from the case. Her new stuff is very interesting. It may not be your favorite, but it's still good stuff to listen to. So, I mean, if she debuted today as a 14-year-old girl, I would feel bad about that. I wouldn't like that. But like if Boa debuted at 19 or 20, I think she could still do very, very well. Because one thing that Boa has that you need when you're a solo star, she has depth and breadth. So depth being like she's not just one version of herself, she's all of these things. Her voice goes different places. She can do runs. She has decent vibrato. She has a nice octave range. It's not super wide, but it's there. And also she just, when she's on the stage, she owns the stage. Like, she doesn't look uncomfortable ever. And so I still think like if she was to debut today, she could still do very well. Like, she would definitely give Chunga and some of the other dancing, singing girls a run for their money. I don't know about a 14-year-old Boa though. I don't know. I feel bad about that one. But yeah, it is a different time. It's a different place. And sometimes you need these little pushes to bring you back into the forefront and get people to take a look at it, But I say all that to say that I'm really glad to see Taemin being re-embraced by everybody. It's sad that his company is not being as embracing of him and that they have been fucking things up. Apparently there's this YouTube video called Rare Tame that SM put out, and it previewed a large chunk of Criminal before Criminal music video was released. I didn't watch it because I just had shit to do, but Taemin was very upset. And Taemin has been expressing fairly recently that things with SM aren't as great as they had been. And I feel bad for Taemin because he deserves better. He really does. Like, Taemin deserves better for a whole host of reasons, but there are a couple of big reasons why Taemin won't be treated better. Let me talk about them. Taemin deserves better because Taemin is talented. Taemin deserves better because Taemin has been putting in the work. Taemin deserves better because Shiny contributed a lot to SM's current success. SM couldn't invest the money they have in groups like NCT or even EXO if Shiny hadn't been as successful as they were. Because people, if you look at the timeline, Shiny debuted, and not that long after they debuted, TVXQ, DBSK, well, DBSK broke up and then TVXQ became a thing. And for a while there were only a few acts on SM. There was Super Junior, there was BoA kind of singing in the background, there was Girls' Generation, there was TVXQ, and there was Shiny and FX. There wasn't a huge roster. SM's never had a really super huge roster to begin with, but Shiny was like the brand new thing. And after watching DBSK kind of start to fall apart with all the stuff going on with JYJ and TVXQ, they needed Shiny. They needed Shiny to kind of be that next big boy band thing. Like, Super Junior was still doing their thing, absolutely. But they needed Shiny to show people, like, hey, don't pay attention to what's going on over there. Let's show you our brand new. Let's show you our new boys. Let's show you, that we're still pushing the needle forward. We're still the vanguard of K-pop. Like, K-pop still follows the trends that SM puts out. And Shiny did a beautiful job of it. They went from being a group that people knew for being, in love with Nunes, and became artists right in front of our very eyes. And there's so many other things that Shiny did that are important when it comes to SM, and even in terms of being an idol, so many things that they did that were important things that set a tone for everyone else to come after them. And I just really feel like because of that, SM owes every single member of Shiny more than they've been given. Every single member. And that's the reason why I feel like him being neglected, them not having a good merchandise push behind his solo, them not having the 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 thinking to, like, maybe not preview the majority of his comeback song before the comeback, for them to not be thinking at that level just shows that they're getting sloppy because he's a second tier artist to them at this point. And that fucking sucks because of everything that Shiny has done for SM. But now here's the other side of that thing. Baekhyun was a million seller by himself. Taeyeon consistently outsells. There are so many other people on SM whose album sales do better than Shiny and Taemin. That SM's gonna treat him like a second class citizen because to them, he's not the moneymaker. NCT very recently has done very well album sales wise, and they're doing better all the time. And because of that, I think in a lot of ways, SM doesn't feel the obligation to Taemin that they should. They don't feel the need to acknowledge everything that he's offered to them. But, millionaires have to start with at least $1. And for every $10 that SM is making right now, part of it is because of that dollar that Shiny contributed 12 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 7 years ago, or 5 years ago. Because in order for them to spend the money that they did to promote NCT, in order for them to have people constantly paying attention to SM because of their older acts, Shiny is part of that legacy. Their legacy is what caused people to be excited about whoever the new rookie group is that's going to come out of SM, because SM has this track record of building legends, of which Shiny is one. And so I hate the fact that when they look at Taemin, they're looking at the last thing he did or the last thing that Shiny did and not looking at the totality of what they have done. and not looking at the totality of what they've done, they have been wildly disrespectful to this man. And they've been wildly disrespectful to this group. And so I'm really glad that the fans are here for Taemin. I'm really glad for the new people that have come into standing Taemin. I hope you'll check out Shiny when they all come back. But SM, I hope that this shows you that there's still so much left to Taemin. There's still so much left to Taemin that you have yet to explore or exploit, if that suits your fancy better, that you need to give him his roses. You need to let him live out his potential. Sasha asked, do I think that he could do better under a different company? I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that he could do better under a different company, only because there's a lot of different factors at play here. Like, we all know that SM is vengeful as shit. And so if they lost Taemin before they were prepared to lose Taemin, I just don't think that he could go out there and just promote like he feels like. SM is not a JYP. And a lot of people, they dog JYP and they act like JYP is just such a fucking hellhole and that JYP is so freaking awful and just the worst. But people have left JYP and had relative success. Like, look at a Sunmi. Look at fucking Rain. People have left JYP and been allowed to have careers. And JYP hasn't blocked them from getting on networks, hasn't blocked them from getting on music shows, hasn't blocked them from doing variety or doing drama. Like, really and truly, JYP is kind of the do you want to be here or not type of thing. Because if you don't want to be here, that's cool. We're still friends. So that's why you see people leaving JYP and still doing okay. You don't see as much of it with YG. Like, there's a little bit of it. Like, Gummy had that You Are My Everything song from Descendants of the Sun that did really well. Ehai just recently had a comeback, which, you know, it didn't chart as well as it should have, but it's a song that's got legs. Hollow's got legs. But SM, on the other hand, when you leave SM, they do their damnedest to make sure you can't ever promote in Korea again. You're dead here. We've got all the connections. We make all the rules, and you can't come here no more. And that's the part that makes me feel like, under the current structure of things, Taemin really can't leave SM and expect to do better, because they would fucking trip him up at every freaking corner. At every opportunity, they would try to fuck up the game for him. And Shiny could leave SM. Absolutely. Shiny could totally leave SM and go somewhere else if they wanted to, as a group. I think if Taemin was to leave SM because SM wasn't right for him, he would probably have talked it over with the group and found some way to still be able to do stuff with them as a group and do his solo thing, or they would agree as a group that they are all leaving SM. That's probably the way that shit would go down. But if that was to happen, don't be surprised if Shiny was to live in Japan after that. Because I really and truly believe that is what would happen. If Shiny, Taemin, the rest of them decide we're not going to be on SM anymore because SM has been treating us poorly, we're going to go do our own thing, the entire group would have to leave the label, and they would probably singularly promote in Japan. It's a much more secure market for them. They wouldn't have to fight for coverage or relevancy because of the way that SM controls everything. So that would be what that is, more than likely, because that's just the way it is, unfortunately. And, you know, it would probably be cool to see a sub-label for Shiny. That'd be really awesome. You know, I would love to see Key be in charge of the merchandise opportunities for Shiny on a sub-label. That would be really, really cool. He would definitely need to hire somebody, though, to be his patent and copyright clearance person, because he has a tendency to, like, find concepts he likes that have already been made and just, like, put a little shiny twist on them. I'm talking about the Megadeth shirts, guys. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be sly about it. When he took those Megadeth shirts and, like, tried to make them shiny shirts, I remember thinking then, okay, you're kind of skirting on copyright violations here. Be careful, son. But yeah, I think a sub label would be outstanding for them, but I don't necessarily believe that SM wants to do that just yet. Because if the Super M thing sells the way that they're anticipating it to sell, they're going to want to keep all of that in house. And if all of Shiny was to be on a sub label under SM, more than likely they would try to renegotiate Taemin's percentages in Super M, and SM's not going to want to do that. Also, because once Taemin renegotiates his percentage, of course, Kai and Becken are going to want to renegotiate their percentage, and so on until, it becomes a problem. So, yeah, that's where I see things currently. But I don't know. I don't think that Taemin has to leave SM right now. I don't feel like that's what it is. I just feel like, if nothing else, this comeback will hopefully serve as a reminder to SM that they owe Taemin something. If nothing else, they owe Taemin their loyalty and they owe him their respect. And in being respectful, they've got to do better for Taemin. Like, his comeback posters didn't even have fucking dates on them other than the date for 2 kids. That's ridiculous. Speaking of which, I have Taemin's album coming this week. I ordered it from K-Town for You back when they had the fan club discount. They were really cheap. They were like $10.50 a piece. I got 2 though. I didn't go overboard. I just got like both versions. But that should be coming this week. I'm really excited to see it because I enjoyed the album quite a bit and I'll get a chance to gush over it at that time too. But yeah, keep supporting Taemin. Keep supporting Super M if you can. Keep supporting Shiny. Like, when everyone's home again, if they want to do something, support it. I know I will because I love them. And, if SM's not going to show them love, I'm going to show them love. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.